Seattle Kraken versus Toronto Maple Leafs. The Seattle Kraken and Toronto Maple Leafs face off in a compelling early-season matchup at Scotiabank Arena, where contrasting styles and ambitions collide. Seattle enters the contest at 2-0-2, riding a disciplined defensive identity that has earned them 6 points and a share of second place in the Pacific Division. Toronto, meanwhile, sits at 3-2-0, boasting a potent offense that ranks among the league's best and positioning them third in the Atlantic Division. For the Maple Leafs, this game represents a chance to extend their home dominance and assert themselves as early contenders, while the Kraken aim to prove their structure-first system can hold up against elite firepower on the road. Between the pipes, the goaltending matchup could define the evening. Seattle's Joey Daccord has been quietly outstanding with a 2.23 goals against average, GAA, and a .918 save percentage, anchoring a team that thrives on keeping games close. Philip Grubauer provides a reliable veteran backup, but has struggled early .875 save percentage. Toronto counters with Anthony Stolarz, whose 2-0-0 record and .907 save percentage highlight solid, if unspectacular, play behind a high-event team. The Leafs' secondary option, Caden Primo, has been shaky in limited action with a 4.00 GAA. Given Seattle's defensive structure and Toronto's aggressive pace, whichever goaltender can withstand sustained offensive pressure may tilt the balance. Offensively, the Maple Leafs are led by the electric William Nylander and the ever-dangerous Austin Matthews. Nylander's 9 points, 2 goals, 7 assists, pace the team, while Matthews has been lethal with 4 goals on 22 shots, maintaining his reputation as one of hockey's premier finishers. Toronto's 3.80 goals per game rank among the league's elite, fueled by an 86.7% penalty kill that transitions swiftly into offense and creates high-danger scoring chances. For Seattle, Jared McCann has been the catalyst, leading with 4 points, 3 goals, 1 assist, including clutch scoring in tight games. Defenseman Brandon Montour contributes steady puck movement with 4 points of his own, adding a needed offensive spark from the blue line. The Kraken average 3 goals per game, relying on efficiency rather than volume to stay competitive and force opponents into difficult, fast-paced decisions. Recent form tells a story of 2 teams finding rhythm in different ways. Seattle's last 5 games show a resilient squad that's kept every contest close, including wins over Anaheim and Edmonton, but back-to-back shootout losses to Ottawa and Montreal, demonstrating both determination and occasional late-game fragility. Toronto, conversely, enters hot, winning 3 of their last 4, highlighted by a 7-4 outburst over Nashville and a tight 2-1 overtime win against the Rangers. The Maple Leafs' only blemish came in a 3-2 setback to Detroit, a game where defensive lapses overshadowed their offensive might and exposed areas needing attention against elite opponents. Injuries could influence tonight's balance. Seattle remains without center Frederick Gaudreau, IR October 25, winger Capo Caco, IR November 8, and defenseman Riker Evans, IR November 26, thinning their depth and forcing more ice time for secondary players. Toronto's goaltender Joseph Woll, IRNR October 28, and center Scott Lawton, IR October 25, are also sidelined, with defenseman Marshall Riffey, IR November 1, limiting blue line options and testing the team's rotation. Both teams will rely heavily on top-line production and special teams, with Seattle's 25% power play facing Toronto's aggressive forecheck and elite penalty kill, making every man advantage critical in shaping the game's outcome. The standings add weight to the matchup. Seattle trails Vegas by 2 points in the Pacific, while Toronto looks to keep pace with division-leading Montreal. For both, this game could shape early momentum and confidence. Seattle's structured two-way game against Toronto's free-flowing offense embodies a stylistic chess match, with each team testing the other's strengths and exposing potential weaknesses. Ultimately, the X factors lie in execution. If Daccord can neutralize Toronto's rush chances and McCann continues his hot streak, Seattle could grind out another tight road win. However, if Matthews and Nylander find open ice, Stolarz' steadiness should be enough to backstop Toronto to victory. Expect a fast-paced, tactical battle with momentum swings both ways, where small mistakes or brilliant plays could ultimately decide the outcome. Prediction: Maple Leafs 4, Kraken 2. Toronto's offensive depth and home ice advantage should prevail, though Seattle's disciplined play will keep it close until the third period. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Toronto Maple Leafs winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Tampa Bay Lightning versus Columbus Blue Jackets. The Tampa Bay Lightning and Columbus Blue Jackets square off in Columbus for a matchup between two Eastern Conference teams looking to spark early momentum. Tampa Bay enters the game 1-2-1, 1-0-1 away, sitting 6th in the Atlantic Division with 3 points, while Columbus stands at 1-3-0, 7th in the Metropolitan. Both teams have struggled to find consistent footing in the season's opening stretch, but each sees this game as a potential turning point. Tampa Bay's seasoned core, led by Braden Point and Andrei Vasilevsky, aims to regain form after a tough start, while the youthful Blue Jackets, led by Kirill Marchenko and Dmitry Voronkov, look to build confidence at home. Goaltending could be decisive in this matchup. For the Lightning, Andrei Vasilevsky has yet to record a win this season, going 0-2-1 with a 4.08 goals against average and .870 save percentage. Backup: Jonas Johansson hasn't fared better. 0-1-0, 3.02 GAA, 900 SV%, and Tampa's defensive structure has shown cracks, allowing 4.00 goals per game. On the Columbus side, young netminder Jet Greaves has provided flashes of promise, posting a 2.08 GAA and .932 save percentage despite a winless start. Elvis Merzlikins, meanwhile, holds a 1-1 record with a 3.54 GAA and a 920 SV%. With both teams still searching for stability in goal, whichever netminder finds rhythm early could swing the game's momentum. Offensively, the Lightning rely heavily on Braden Point, who leads the team with 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists, and continues to be their most reliable playmaker. Jake Guentzel has chipped in 4 assists and provides veteran poise, while Tampa's depth scoring has lagged, especially with Nikita Kucherov sidelined. For the Blue Jackets, Kirill Marchenko has been a bright spot with 5 points, 4 goals, 1 assist, in 4 games, giving Columbus a much-needed scoring touch. Dmitry Voronkov's 2 assists and strong two-way play highlight the team's youthful upside. Both clubs enter with uneven form. Tampa Bay's last 5 show a 1-3-1 stretch, including a lopsided 7-0 defeat to Florida and a 4-3 win over Boston, their only victory in that span, highlighting both flashes of offensive skill and glaring lapses. Columbus hasn't fared better, dropping 3 straight after an early win against Minnesota, struggling to find consistency on both ends. The Blue Jackets have allowed 3.75 goals per game, a mark of defensive vulnerability, while Tampa's issues lie in inconsistency, alternating strong offensive showings with defensive collapses that make every contest unpredictable and high risk for late-game swings. Injuries play a significant role in this matchup. Tampa remains without Nikita Kucherov, out until October 18th. Scott Sabarin, Zemgus Girgensons, Nico Huhtinen, and Nick Paul, leaving their forward depth stretched thin. Columbus's blue line takes a hit with Eric Gudbranson listed day-to-day and forward Miles Wood out until later in the month. Depth will be tested on both sides, making secondary scoring vital. The standings add urgency. Tampa Bay, traditionally a powerhouse, risks slipping further behind divisional leaders like Montreal and Detroit if they can't stabilize defensively. Columbus, on the other hand, sits near the bottom of the Metropolitan, but their young core is gaining valuable experience in tight contests. A win here could boost morale and keep early season optimism alive, providing momentum that could carry into more challenging matchups down the line. For Tampa, every point matters as they aim to stay within striking distance of playoff positioning, while Columbus sees these games as both developmental opportunities and must-win scenarios to remain competitive. Key X factors include Tampa's power play efficiency against Columbus's struggling penalty kill, and whether Marchenko can continue his hot scoring pace against Vasilevsky. If Guentzel and Point can control possession and generate sustained pressure, Tampa's superior experience could tilt the balance. Goaltending consistency will also play a decisive role. Tampa's defensive structure and veteran netminder pedigree provide a safety net, whereas Columbus must rely on discipline and opportunistic scoring to stay in the contest. Secondary contributions from role players, timely hits, blocked shots, and smart positional play could prove critical in a game where small margins decide outcomes. Prediction: Tampa Bay 4, Columbus 2. Despite both teams' inconsistencies, the Lightning's veteran leadership and offensive edge should prevail. Expect a close contest early, but Tampa's special teams, depth, and goaltending pedigree give them the upper hand as they rebound from recent struggles, while Columbus may find flashes of promise yet ultimately falls short against a more complete and battle-tested opponent. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Tampa Bay Lightning winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Boston Bruins versus Colorado Avalanche. The Boston Bruins travel to Denver to face the Colorado Avalanche in a marquee East versus West clash that pits one of the NHL's most disciplined defensive units against a relentless offensive juggernaut. Boston enters at 3-2-0, 1-1-0 away, sitting fourth in the Atlantic Division, while Colorado boasts a 4-0-1 record and leads the Central Division with 9 points. Both teams are off to strong starts, but this matchup offers contrasting paths. The Bruins looking to solidify their identity after early inconsistencies, and the Avalanche aiming to extend their dominance at home after a 4-1 win over Columbus. Goaltending stability could define this matchup. For Boston, Jeremy Swayman, 2-1-0, 2.68 goals against average, .916 save percentage, has been the steadier hand in net, while Joonas Korpisalo's 3.50 GAA and .851 save percentage suggest he'll remain the secondary option. Across the ice, Scott Wedgwood, 4-0-1, 1.58 GAA, .939 SV%, has been sensational, anchoring a defense that's allowed just 1.60 goals per game, best among Western Conference teams. If Wedgwood maintains form, Colorado's goaltending edge could prove decisive against Boston's high-volume shooting attack that averages 28.6 shots per game. Offensively, both teams feature elite star power. David Pastrnak leads the Bruins with 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists, and remains the focal point of their attack, driving a power play converting at 15.8%. His chemistry with Boston's top line continues to produce chances, but the team's 5-on-5 consistency remains in question. For Colorado, Martin Necas has been electric with 9 points, 3 goals, 6 assists, while Nathan MacKinnon's 4 goals and 17 shots demonstrate his typical explosiveness. The Avalanche's 3.40 goals per game are powered by speed and puck movement, testing defenses with transition pressure that Boston must neutralize. Recent form favors Colorado. The Avalanche have gone 4-0-1 in their last 5, outscoring opponents 15-7, including shutout wins against Dallas and Utah, demonstrating both offensive depth and defensive stability. Boston, meanwhile, has alternated wins and losses, dropping 2 of their last 3, including an 8-5 defeat to Vegas. Yet, their ability to bounce back is evident in wins over Buffalo and Washington, showing resilience despite inconsistency and the ability to adjust strategies when under pressure. The Avalanche's home dominance, 4-0-1 at Ball Arena, contrasts Boston's split road record, setting up a challenge for the Bruins to weather early pressure, control tempo, and avoid costly mistakes in front of a hostile crowd, where every turnover or defensive lapse could prove decisive. Injury situations slightly tilt the balance toward Colorado despite their own setbacks. The Avalanche remain without goaltender Mackenzie Blackwood, out until October 28, and key blue liners Samuel Girard and Ronnie Attard, while forwards Logan O'Connor and Jacob McDonald are long-term absences, forcing adjustments in both defensive structure and line combinations. Boston's lone concern is defenseman Hampus Lindholm, listed day-to-day but expected to play, giving the Bruins a relatively intact lineup. With both teams running tight rotations, bench depth, defensive pairings, and timely contributions from secondary players could ultimately determine endurance and effectiveness late in the game. Standings implications loom large. Boston, tied for third in the Atlantic with 6 points, needs a win to keep pace with Detroit and Montreal atop the division and avoid falling behind in the early season standings. Colorado, already leading the Central, could extend its cushion over Winnipeg and Dallas, further solidifying its position as a contender. The early season tone is clear. Boston seeks to assert its playoff-caliber structure and defensive discipline against an Avalanche squad already skating like a finely tuned contender, combining speed, depth, and offensive firepower to challenge any opponent. The X factors are clear: Pasternak's ability to exploit the Avalanche's aggressive forecheck, Wedgwood's consistency under pressure, and special teams execution on both ends. If Boston's power play strikes early, they could seize momentum, but Colorado's depth and balanced attack should wear down the Bruins as the game goes on. Prediction: Colorado 4, Boston 2. Expect the Avalanche's speed, transition play, and puck control to gradually overpower Boston's defense in the later stages, with McKinnon or Nichas delivering the dagger on home ice. While the Bruins will remain competitive and create scoring chances through opportunistic rushes, Colorado's depth, elite goaltending form, and superior puck management make them the safer pick to stay unbeaten in regulation and extend their early season dominance. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Colorado Avalanche winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Pittsburgh Penguins versus San Jose Sharks. The Pittsburgh Penguins head west to face the San Jose Sharks in a matchup between a confident contender and a rebuilding squad searching for rhythm. The Penguins, sitting at 3-2-0-2-1-0 on the road, currently rank 4th in the Metropolitan Division and aim to extend their winning streak against a struggling Sharks team that's winless in regulation at 0-1-2. For San Jose, the early part of the season has been turbulent, with defensive lapses and limited scoring depth defining their slow start. Pittsburgh, led by seasoned stars Evgeny Malkin and Dmitry Orlov, enters as the favorite, while the Sharks look to find a spark at home to reverse their fortunes. In goal, Pittsburgh's goaltending tandem features Arturs Silovs, 2-1-0, 2.67 goals against average, 908 save percentage, and Tristan Jarry, 1-1-0, 3.55 GAA, 0.881 SIV percent. Silovs has been the steadier of the two, and he's expected to start as the Penguins lean on his composure and rebound control. On the other side, Alex Nedeljkovic, 0-1-0, 4.45 GAA, 0.878 SV percent, and Yaroslav Askarov, 0-0-1, 6.93 GAA, 0.837 SV percent, have both struggled early, a reflection of San Jose's defensive inconsistencies. If the Sharks can't stabilize their goaltending and limit Pittsburgh's rush chances, the night could get long for the home fans. Offensively, Pittsburgh's veteran core remains their heartbeat. Evgeny Malkin leads the team with 7 points, 1 goal, 6 assists, anchoring both even strength and power play units, and his vision and experience have been crucial in creating scoring chances in tight spaces. His chemistry with Dmitry Orlov, 3G, 3A, has been a revelation, giving the Penguins a productive blue line to center connection that consistently generates second-chance opportunities. Justin Brazeau has emerged as a surprising scoring threat with 4 goals, showing finishing instincts that complement Pittsburgh's heavy forecheck and willingness to crash the net. San Jose, meanwhile, leans on Jeff Skinner, 2 goals, 6 assists, and Orlov's offensive support to stay competitive, but beyond that, production has been inconsistent. The Sharks' 3.33 goals per game are inflated by a few high-scoring losses rather than sustained offensive efficiency, leaving them vulnerable if Pittsburgh's defense and goaltending maintain discipline over a full 60 minutes. Recent form clearly favors Pittsburgh. The Penguins have won 4 of their last 5 games, including impressive road victories over the Kings, 4-2, and Islanders, 4-3, demonstrating both offensive balance and defensive reliability. Their only stumble came in a 6-1 defeat to the Rangers, but they rebounded quickly, showcasing resilience, composure, and the ability to adjust game plans on the fly. The Sharks, conversely, have dropped 3 straight after an opening win over Vegas, surrendering 18 goals in that span and struggling to maintain consistent structure. Defensive breakdowns remain a glaring issue, as they've allowed over 5 goals per game in their last 3 outings, leaving them vulnerable to Pittsburgh's speed, puck possession, and depth across all lines. Injuries could play a key role. Pittsburgh's forward depth is thin, with Bill Zonin, Tanner Howe, and Rutger McGroarty all sidelined, while defensemen Jack St. Ivany and Kevin Hayes are out until later in the month, forcing increased minutes for secondary players. San Jose's blue line is even more depleted. John Klingberg, Shakir Mukhamadullin, and Timothy Liljegren are all unavailable, leaving the Sharks short on puck-moving defensemen and vulnerable to sustained pressure. Captain Logan Couture remains on long-term injured reserve, stripping the Sharks of leadership, offensive punch, and experience in critical game situations. The standings add further contrast. Pittsburgh is within striking distance of the top of the Metro with 6 points, while San Jose's 2 points put them near the Pacific Division basement. While early season standings can be deceiving, the Penguins' mix of veteran experience and two-way depth gives them a clear advantage against a team still finding its identity. Tonight's X factors could come down to goaltending and special teams. Pittsburgh's power play sits at a healthy 23.1% with a 76.5% penalty kill, numbers that should pressure San Jose's undisciplined unit, which has taken 29 penalty minutes per game and struggled to stay out of trouble. If the Sharks can stay out of the box and find early rhythm through transition offense, they may hang around longer than expected, forcing Pittsburgh to play a full 60 minutes of disciplined, mistake-free hockey to secure the win. Prediction: Pittsburgh 4, San Jose 2. Expect Malkin and Orlov to continue their offensive pace, with Sylovs holding steady in net. San Jose will show flashes but remains too inconsistent to outlast a disciplined Penguins team. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Pittsburgh Penguins winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.